Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Samuel Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
All right, we're back. Another episode of Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, episode 32. This one, we got a couple topics. We're going to go over the recent Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, which they announced yesterday. By the time you see this, would be a few days ago, but they just announced that. And then also we have a list of shitty albums by legendary bands, I guess, if you want to call it that. So we'll review that, our picks of some of the all-time great bands. Not everybody puts out, it's the Rolling Stones, as great as they are, they put out pretty bad records too. So we'll go over all that stuff. But first, we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. They announced the inductees this year, and I guess everybody figured the Foo Fighters were going to get in because Dave Grohl's got his hands in everything, whether he puts himself in these positions or not, but he pops up everywhere. And I'm not hating on the guy, just calling it like it is. I mean, I've said it before, he's like the token rock guy. Foo Fighters are the token rock band. If you need a rock band for an awards show, you're going to call it Foo Fighters. If
they're safe,
they're safe. If you need a rock dude to induct someone or for a quote, you call Dave Grohl. No fault to him. I mean, they all go to him. Anyway, you got legendary bands who took Black Sabbath. It took them like 15 years again, and Alice Cooper. I don't know, maybe the same amount of time. Kiss. Metallica, Deep Purple. Yes. I mean, all these bands, it takes them years to get in. Foo Fighters during the first time.
Listen,
first year.
With all due respect to Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, and I do think they're a real good band. No. Come on. Now stop. It's like, stop.
Not now. I mean,
not now.
Honestly, man, they've been around for 25 years, a good amount of time, but I don't know anyone who said, oh my God, yeah, Foo Fighters really influenced me. Maybe a few years down the road I could see. Not now.
How the fuck did they get in before Iron Maiden?
Right.
How the fuck did they get in before Iron Maiden? I'm sorry. You're in there with Nirvana already. You can fucking wait.
Exactly. Right.
Fucking Iron Maiden is not in the Hall of Fame. It is just beyond my fucking belief.
It's ridiculous.
To me, you got like 5-6 of the like founding fathers bands of metal, bands who like really, in my opinion, you got Sabbath is in, Deep Purple took years, they finally got in. You got Metallica, who's probably the biggest metal band ever. No Judas Priest, no Motorhead,
no Iron Maiden,
and no Maiden. Like
they're those three that should be in.
There are three that should definitely be in. And then you could put everybody else in, but
yeah,
dude, it's just so fucked up.
I mean, come on, it's like were the Foo Fighters bigger than Motley Crue when Motley Crue was at its height? I don't think so.
Yeah, Motley Crue should be in there. I mean,
absolutely.
I love the '80s stuff, and I'm not going to say Poison deserves to get in because they don't, but some of those bands, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, they deserve to be in. And I honestly,
Def Leppard
can't really see. Yeah,
finally.
Yeah, them and Bon Jovi are in, but I think Motley Crue deserves. They haven't even been.
They're not in.
Not even they were never even on a ballot, right?
Never ever on a ballot. But
I'm not a huge Motley Crue fan, but they should be in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. I'm not a fan of a lot of bands, but that have gotten in the Hall of Fame. But I could see why. It's like, and now they picked 6 people. 3 of them have already been in before. Tina Turner's been in as Ike and Tina Turner, and I'm going to
stop you on that though. She needs to go and solo. That Ike's a fucking jerk off, man. So she needs to get in there away from him.
Oh yeah, you know what? If anything, I thought she should have been in by herself before. Like,
absolutely.
But I'm not complaining. I mean, it's not their fault that they're in twice. Carole King has already been in as a songwriter.
No need to put her in twice.
That's a little weird to me. Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl is in with Nirvana. It's like, don't the voters? There's like 1,200 voters, and a lot of these are past inductees. They get the vote. It's like, don't they think of this shit? Like, oh, Carole King's already in there. Maybe I'll give my vote to someone else. Yeah. So Jay-Z, I think it was his first year. He's in, but he did
get in, Jay-Z.
He did get in. He did get in.
I don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, really. I mean,
so this year they put, every year it's always 6 people. Always 6 people, and then once in a while they'll put the Ahmet Ertegun Award. They'll put like somebody who's not a musician in, like a record industry legend. So, okay, I get that. So it's never any more than that. But this year they decided to induct 6 other people in that you couldn't even vote for. So you have Kraftwerk, who's been on the ballot a shitload of times. They never got voted in. They deserve it, yeah. But they're doing this backdoor bullshit now.
Yeah.
Well, so like LL Cool J, they've been putting him on the ballot every friggin' year. Again, he deserves to be in. He should have been in instead of Jay-Z. He should have been before
Jay-Z.
Well, are we calling this the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or are we calling this
should be the Music Hall of Fame?
It should be. I mean, I don't disagree that. I'm not going to fight and say, "Oh, hip hop shouldn't be in." Look, at this point, it's.
I'll tell you what.
It's. I'm not going to. I don't disagree with it.
Once you call it the Music Hall of Fame, you'll never have a rock band in there again.
Yeah, then it opens up other.
You know what the irony? You know what the irony is going to be about this whole thing? LL Cool J gets in as a different kind of inductee. Watch, next year he'll get in. He'll be on the ballot and get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right. So
he'll be a double winner now.
Yeah, does that just exclude him off the ballots? I mean, because now he's in. He's in as a musical excellence award. They put him in.
What the fuck's the difference? Isn't all the same thing?
Yeah, it's just like a fucking backdoor thing, It's like, okay, well, you know what? LL Cool J's been on the ballot 6-7 times. He hasn't gotten in. We're going to make up this award, Music Excellence Award, and we're going to get him in. Who's also in every year, nominated, never gets in? Chaka Khan. Mark my words. Next year, she's going to go in at one of these musical excellence award because they're sick and tired of seeing her name on the ballot every fucking year.
But what's the difference? Wouldn't you rather just put more people in and
exactly right? Yeah, I mean,
you know what, Damien?
The nominees, just put them all the fuck in. It's the same amount of people as they just added in yesterday.
Instead of hearing all of us bitch, make it a 2-day fucking event and put more people in.
You could have a fucking Ozfest of bands playing.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know, man.
But you know what, Damien? I want to, like you say, the music excellence. In a way, I could kind of dig that if they did it right. And I didn't hear about this. This is the first I'm hearing.
It's new, yeah.
But if they did it, like you know how many bands are just huge influences on other bands and many bands, and they just never get the recognition they deserve.
Right.
And that would be kind of like a great category for something like that.
You know what, Mike, though? I disagree with that because I think what they should do, if they want to have this music excellence thing on the side, it should be like, okay, let's say
lesser bands.
Let's say, well, no, not even that. Let's say Jimmy Page is in under Led Zeppelin. Maybe if you give it to like an instrument, like, for guitar, legendary guitar excellence, Jimmy Page, that could be different. That would make the Randy Rhoads thing kind of make sense to me because it's not really a band, it's just a person. Or if it was just a songwriter, like if it was like a Desmond Child or something like that,
I'm talking about bands like like you see like the Pixies, who influenced many bands who do get.
Well, then why not just put them in the Hall of Fame?
Some bands
What's
literally
the difference?
Right. Well, exactly. Okay. Well, right, but you are putting them in the Hall of Fame, and that's a way for a lesser-known band that didn't sell.
Yeah, but it's just a bullshit category for them.
Yeah,
just put them in.
Yeah,
I mean, the category.
If they're going to put people in under these extra categories that they just made up,
crazy.
Let it be someone who's never been nominated before, who would never, or maybe someone who has been nominated who never would ever have a chance to get in.
Right.
Like what you said, like the Pixies. I don't know if they might have been nominated once, but they probably won't get in.
But
you know,
right, exactly.
Put them in on that. LL Cool J going in on that. He eventually would have. I'm surprised he's not in.
Yeah.
But they fucking put Jay-Z in there. It's like everything is like ass backwards. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It's like it's like giving fucking. Remember Steve Jobs used to play for the Phillies? He would hit like zero, like one home run a year. It's like making him the home run king just because he tried. You know, it's like I don't know.
He hit more balls into the outfield than anybody this year.
It's weird. It's like Tina Turner.
Didn't go out.
Tina Turner, I get. Carole King, I get. I guess the Go-Go's, I definitely get. I think they're well deserved. Yeah. Jay-Z, I really don't get. It has nothing to do with the rap music. It just has to do with it's way too fucking early. Foo Fighters, great band, way too early. Way too early.
Yeah.
Todd Rundgren, I get. And then I guess the rest is whatever. But I get the Todd Rundgren. He's been around for a long time, produced a lot of records. You know, I get it. But I think it should be different categories for, you know, maybe, I think we talked about this last time, maybe have X amount of bands in, and then, you know, then have your management, you know, a management category, then have like a record label guy category or a producer or an engineer. Like, I don't know if Bob Ezrin's in. Bob Ezrin should definitely be in. What the fuck?
Nah, but like guys like that.
Bill Coyne.
I mean, you know? like we
Rick
talked
Rubin.
before, like we mentioned on the last one, like they should do, okay, one metal band, one pop act, one solo artist, one hip hop, one whatever. Hey, and you know what? They're putting hip hop in. How come country isn't in? Where's Willie Nelson? He's not.
I mean,
you know,
he's not in there. Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's more.
Country's more rock and roll than hip hop.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson's not in it, really?
No, I think Johnny Cash is in. There's like maybe him and maybe like.
Well, they got to put Johnny Cash in because all us cool kids like Johnny Cash. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the hip thing, and I like him, but it's the hip thing to like Johnny Cash. You know?
It just like pisses me off, man. It's just this whole thing. It's just like they just make shit up as they go.
Even I see Gene Simmons even tweeted. He tweeted that it was disgusting that, you know, of course, Rage. He said that, and he said that what's name should have been in Maiden. He's like, how don't you put Maiden in? It's a shame.
He's saying Rage should have went in.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Maiden and Rage.
I mean, not yet. I'd say for them.
I don't think the only thing, and I'm
before
not a fan.
Foo Fighters, I think.
Yeah, before Foo. The only thing I would say with Rage is Rage brought their own style, and even though I'm not a fan, they definitely brought something different to
did,
but they weren't around long enough. I don't think, you know.
Yeah, I could definitely see their influence more than the Foo Fighters influence on somebody.
Foo Fighters are just pop. They're just pop music.
I'm going to be totally biased on this one. What about a band like Faith No More?
Too weird.
Yeah, you know.
Well, what do you mean? They broke the mainstream on that, man. They broke the mainstream.
But then they could break that down to the Chili Peppers.
I mean,
you know, it came from the Chili Peppers. That's the way
I mean, but
I wouldn't be surprised if they ever turned up as a nominee.
They might as a nominee.
I don't know if they would ever get it.
I mean, they're just a huge influential force, you know?
Yeah.
Huge.
But as far as like selling records and all that, I mean, Iron Maiden had to sell more records than the Foo Fighters, right? I mean, I would think.
I would think so. I believe they're one of the top selling bands.
I don't know. But, I mean, Maiden wasn't a band that was ever on the radio. You know, it's like Foo Fighters they're having a shitload of hits. I'm not a fan of them, but I'm not gonna like, you know.
I just think
facts, you know.
I just think it's weird that they're in the first, and it's like nothing. I mean, good for them, but at least they're trying to still do rock music. But in the first year, I mean, how do you pass Maiden? How's Motorhead not even nominated?
They were nominated.
You know what?
About 3 years ago.
It's horrible.
I heard, and I stopped listening to the radio. Probably the last time I listened to the actual music on the radio might have been around 2005. And that's when I honestly started hearing Iron Maiden on the radio for the very first time.
Yeah.
And it was like Run to the Hills. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, they're playing Iron Maiden. Too many years too fucking late, you assholes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what? Because they had devilish covers and, you know, parents were worried about, like, is that why you didn't play them? Look at the shit that gets played now. Fuck off.
Yeah. It's one thing they have to consider these people who, you know, nominee, you know, who are on the board or whatever, is like, it's an event that people go to, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So they have to sell tickets for that. They have to get asses in the seats.
Yeah.
And it's on HBO, so they need ratings.
Yeah.
And thirdly, it's a museum, so they need to put bands in who people are going to want to see in their museum. You know, so I mean, Foo Fighters are a huge band. They're going to pull those people in. Jay-Z is, you know, he's huge too.
Yep.
You know, whether you like him or not. So I mean, they're going to pull people in right there. You know, I mean, Iron Maiden will too, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who was that one guy, Fellow Cootie or something?
I can't believe he didn't make it.
He ain't pulling anybody.
Like,
I can't.
why
believe
was he even
wasn't
on the
sure.
fucking ballot? Why?
I mean, they
Like
say
I said,
he's
if you put
hugely
fucking-
influential. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. You put him on the ballot. I'll say you could definitely put Faith No More on there. Then
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
you can put that guy. in, yeah.
again, yeah. Please give me a fucking break.
And like I said,
Yeah.
that extra category, they should make it like, you know, bass player, Flea for musical excellence. That I understand. That would be cool.
Well,
Because
you
a
know
lot
what?
of those guys don't get the credit, you know?
That guy, Fellow Cootie, would have been perfect example.
For
Put
that.
him on their early influence. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, that's like the perfect recipient for that type of award. You know,
Or how don't you even see, if you're going to make a category like that, how don't you throw Eddie Van Halen in there, even though he's in with Van Halen? But how?
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I think like
weird.
a musical excellence award inducting somebody like that, it should be more like a side guy, like a
Yeah.
Randy Rhoads. You know, that makes sense.
I mean, it was
Like,
nice to see Randy Rhoads get thrown something, you know? That was
Yeah.
kind of cool. But was that just to shut us all up? You know?
probably.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that was out of the blue. Who knew about? I didn't hear nothing about that.
Nah.
I was like, Randy, what the hell's going on? Randy,
Yeah, they probably figure once they tallied up all the votes, the metal fans are gonna be pissed, so we got to throw them a bone.
yeah. I mean, come on. They do it every year to metal. Like you said, Deep Purple took forever. Kiss, it took forever. You know, Motorhead. I still can't believe Motorhead's not in there.
Yeah,
Motorhead
look at
influenced so much stuff.
you know, metal aside, look at other genres. Yes, it took them years.
Yeah.
Moody Blues, it took like 40 something years for them to get in.
That's
It's
crazy.
like it's insane, man. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's really really weird, but I don't know. Oh, I can't wait to see the Foo Fighters jam at the end of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, it would be like great end credit music right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
look,
mean,
I like the Foo Fighters, but everything I hear from sounds like the credits are rolling.
Oh, absolutely. They got their form, but even that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the first couple records had some huge hits. After that, I don't know.
Yeah, they sound like
I-
they like Mentos. Who cares?
I saw them the year Dave Grohl was in the wheelchair or
Yeah,
throne.
they're
whatever
great
it was. He
live.
broke
I'm
his
sure they're
leg.
great live.
Dude, they were. I'm not gonna say they sucked because it sounds like I'm talking trash. They were actually good, and
Yeah.
every friggin' I don't own one Foo Fighters record, but every song they played, I
You
knew
know. Yeah.
because
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
all on the radio.
I have about 2 or 3 of them. I think.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. They're good.
Yeah, I don't dislike them, but at the same time, it's like I get bored of them quick. If that makes any sense.
I think everybody's sick of them. They're over. It's overexposure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Like you said a billion times, Dame. They're not the only guys out there.
Right, and you know what? It's really. I mean, you can't fault them. I mean, people
No,
ask them to
good
do
for
it.
them, yeah.
They're going to do it. But I think people should just kind of like, you know, open up their mind and maybe look in other directions. You know, try to build somebody else. Also, maybe
Dude,
a younger band or something.
I can see Dave Grohl even saying, "How's Maiden not in?" You know?
Oh yeah. I'm
sure.
sure he's. You know,
That's crazy. I guess it is what it is.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. So we're gonna play a different kind of game, I guess you could call it, for our subject for today. So what we're gonna do is, so we're all fired up. We picked 14 big bands, and not the biggest, but we picked 14 bands that are pretty big. And each band, no matter how good they are, they always have an album that we think's pretty lame. So we're going to pick, and we're all going to pick different ones. Maybe not. We might agree, but we're all going to have our own answer to this, our own, our deal here, our own opinion. So we're going to start it off with the first band. We're going to start off with Damo. Metallica. What do you think is Metallica's worst record?
I almost didn't put this record on there because it's not like solely a Metallica record, but it is in their discography and it is considered a Metallica record. But the one they did with Lou Reed, Lulu.
Bad.
I put that in there, and I remember when it came out. When I first heard about it, I was like, this might be interesting, you know. And then I heard it, and you know, he's singing about I am the chair and all this like nothing,
like nipples and stuff like that.
It's like, dude, nothing made sense. It was like kind of like art rock, like Andy Warhol kind of like
bad.
Was Lou Reed
shit.
like sick at this time or something like?
No, he was like this all the time.
Like I don't remember. Like, I mean, I'm not totally into the Lou Reed. Like I only heard a few songs from him.
Yeah, you
know. I don't know
anything.
He's always been out there, all kinds of weird shit, you know. It's,
hey man,
but what was that one he had with? He was kind of peeling the face off or whatever. I remember the video.
I mean, he had one big song that I remember. What's it? The Wild and the Killer Girls sing.
Take
on the wild, yeah. Take a walk on the wild side.
Yeah, that's the song I remember.
Yeah, he's always been like one of those, critics guys, critics artists, you know. And he was in that whole Warhol scene, the whole art rock thing. And hey,
Tom Waits did it better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't,
absolutely.
It's always cool to try something different, but this shit was just
different.
It was just out there, and I just can't get into it, and never could. And a lot of people felt that way.
I would have definitely put this album down, but I felt that it really wasn't a true Metallica album.
Yeah.
So it was terrible, though. It was. I think I lasted 4 tracks, maybe 20 seconds each. I'm like, I can't.
So, so Damien's going with the old Lulu. Mike D, what are you going with?
I mean, I'm putting that on a shelf of its own, that Lulu thing, man. But I mean, I'm going by my experience, which was Reload. I bought that album when it first came out. I was like, oh, yeah, man, it's going to be great. This fucking sucks. Later on that night, I traded to one of my buddies for an album he hated, which was Kiss Unplugged, which I also didn't like. So I think in the long run, though, I think I appreciate the Kiss Unplugged much more.
Yeah.
So,
for me, if you see me rubbing my eye with the bottle, it's because my allergies are killing me and my eyes itching. So I'm not being a total
I thought you were trying
job.
to make a statement or something there.
So I'm going to go with, Lulu was almost my pick, but it wasn't Metallica's fault.
Yeah.
So, but I was thinking about that, but I'm going to go with Reload also. And between this and Load, the band changed a bit musically. It was definitely more bluesier stuff, with the exception of 2 songs that were really good. I really like The Memory Remains. I think it's a great song. And Fuel I like a lot, which, they're good songs. The rest is kind of just there, kind of like classic rock sounding, but I don't know. The debate could be Lulu is worse, but that's on Lou Reed.
I mean,
so, if I would have picked Reload if I didn't pick Lulu. So
yeah. So we're all on the same page.
Well, we could have went and this would have been an easy way out, saying Anger. But guess what, man? After listening to, I love the songs on Saint Anger. I just don't like the way they were done.
Right.
Saint Anger should have been a great album.
Yeah. And you know what? If anything, it was a step back in the right direction. That album.
But they just did it wrong. But the song-wise, man, they were some fucking great songs on there.
Yeah, some heavy stuff on there.
I think if the drums were done like the drums on the Black album for that album, it would have been great. And the vocals were a little dry. I mean, I might have said that before, but
it was really raw sounding.
It was really raw, but there were a lot of good songs.
Mixed right.
Yeah.
And you had one of the best producers doing the record, so it was on purpose.
Right.
It wasn't by any fault of Bob Rock, because Bob Rock puts out great records. So it wasn't a bad production thing on his end. That's what they were shooting for, was that sound. But if that had the right sound to it, I mean, Frantic would sound like Battery. It was huge. It was just yeah. But Reload, I think Reload was just too much of a change, but 2 great songs on that record. Same thing like we do with the Guns N' Roses. If you put Load and Reload together, you might come up with a decent record. But
we should try that sometime.
Yeah, that might be on the agenda. Load. Okay, moving on to the next artist, Kiss. What do you got, Damo?
Man, I got this album when it came out, and I just did not like it then. I really don't like it now, and It's the last studio record they did was Monster. Everything from the title to the album cover, I just fucking hate it. And I pretty much, they're my all-time favorite band, and I always find even like the worst stuff, like I always find something good about it. But like the song "Freak" is just like, it's fucking awful, man. It's terrible. The best song I think was the single "Hell or Hallelujah." I love the album before the Sonic Boom. I thought that was like it was like kind of like a return to like their classic sound and everything. And I really hoped that this one was going to be that way. It was just like, I hope that they will put out another album just so kind of like cleanse the palate, at least end on a high, like on a or better note than this. But
I didn't mind it too much. I really didn't mind Monster too much. That wasn't too bad. I didn't think. I thought the first side was from the LP. The first side was real good. The second side was okay. But I see what you're saying. And production wise, it was a little too much wall sound, a little distorted.
Yeah.
Sounding. They need to make one more record with Bob Ezrin, I think, and they should, But Sonic Boom, I thought Sonic Boom was a better record, Dane.
Yeah.
I agree with you that. Mike D, Kiss, what do you got?
I'm probably going to contradict myself on this one. And I don't hate it. And look, I don't totally even know enough Kiss to really even, say what's their worst album or this. But I'm going with The Elder. And it's not that I even hate it, but it's the furthest thing from Kiss, really.
It's understandable.
Yeah. So, I almost had that one down too, because it doesn't sound like something that they would
I'm taking
normally
the easy
do.
Way out. This is just the easy way out for me.
It's Kiss's Lulu.
Lulu.
I don't even think I can go back to Lulu and listen to it. It's just
I'm the chair.
Like I didn't totally hate The Elder. It's just it's just a time and a place for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel like
you're departure. For me, and I love the title track. I think it's a great song, but I'm going to go with Psycho Circus. And reason being, the opening track is awesome. There's a few songs that are okay. The lyrics, oh my God, raise your glasses. We're the champions. I pledge allegiance to rock and roll. I can't take it. I mean, maybe they got away with it in the 70s. I didn't notice it as much, but my God.
I got it the day it came out too, and I remember being really, really disappointed. And it has grown on me. Look, dude, it's Kiss. They're not going to write songs about saving the rainforest and don't kill the whales. And their lyrics have always been pretty bad, pretty dumb. But it's all in fun, But I don't know. I just really didn't like it too much when it came out. I think over the years, I kind of liked it a lot more. It's still, it probably would be on my bottom 5, worst albums list. But
it's a shame because the song "Psycho Circus" is a great song.
Yeah,
that's such a good song, and Within didn't even bother me too much. The one that kind of sounded like 18 from Alice Cooper, that didn't really bother me too much.
The Ace song was great. Into the Void. I thought that was a great tune.
Good, but I think it's just them other 2 songs just ruined the record for me. That and I finally found my way to last one.
It's awful.
It's just bad.
Awful.
So I would have probably said The Elder just because it's what you're supposed to say, but I'm going with Psycho Circus just because, man. It just sounds bloated and self-indulgent and raise the glasses because we're the what did we just win the World Series? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We already said the only band that gets away with that's Queen.
Yeah, I think they're probably trying to write a song like that would always get played like We Are the Champions are every year. You know what I mean?
But it's weird. I listen to that and that makes me sick, but I listen to Shout It Out Loud and I'm like, oh, I love it. So I don't.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of idea. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's a shame because I like everything they were trying to do with that record, and it just, and it wasn't all, it was a fraudulent record. It wasn't, not that the Kiss hasn't had different people playing on it, but it's just, I don't know. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next band, The Rolling Stones. What you got, Damo?
I'm a really big fan of the Stones, but like their 80s material, like a lot of like classic bands at the time, they just seemed like kind of lost to me. And like their 80s stuff, it was like, I mean, they're probably like in their 30s or 40s at the time, so they weren't really that old. But by like 1985 standards, they were probably like grandpas too, you know. But I think it was either going to be Dirty Work. I thought was probably, I always thought that was their worst album, but there's a couple good tunes on that one, so that kind of like saved it from me. But the album that came out before that was called Undercover, and
Undercover.
dude, that was it's a pretty shitty record. Like
that's up there.
There was a it had its moments. There was one song called She Was Hot. I mean, like, you don't get any more cheesier than that, but I thought that was like the best song on the record. But it's pretty weak. I mean, it's like the Stones trying to be like reggae, new wave. It like a whole bunch of different weird shit going on. I mean, it was like
the neon colors on the front
the
cover.
Yeah, it was just nah.
Bad. Fucking bad. Mike D, what you got?
Look, man, I don't know. And I know they're great musicians and they had the longevity. And to me, I just look at them as a whole. Their catalog. It's just fucking bloated. Just bloated with like nothing really. Once you get past the mid 70s, kind of them, it's just fucking garbage.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff after that.
You know, It's like country music. It's there. It's everywhere. It's like, I don't know. It like they're this legendary band, but they haven't put out like a hit. And like, what? Come on. Like, fuck the Rolling Stones. Like,
do you have a bad record?
Yes, I'm going with.
Their entire discography post 1970.
Yeah, but I listened to most of Dirty Work, and I was tapping by half of the album. I can't do this one. I can't do it no more. I can't. I was done. Fucking, no.
Yeah.
No more Stones.
I want to say for the Rolling Stones, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. I mean, listen, there might be like 30 songs that I really like, which makes you think I would be a fan, but they have some good songs. I'm not a fan of this. I hate that whole rock and roll thing. It just sounds. They just remind me of old man music.
Yeah, like, you got the old stuff like Ruby Tuesday, Painted Black. Great stuff.
Yeah, that was more creative. I thought.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know why. I just don't. I think Mick Jagger just gets on my nerves. I don't know what it is. So
Sympathy for the Devil.
That was the good stuff. That stuff was cool. Man. Yeah. For me, I want to go with Dirty Work. I think that was from the neon colors on the front of the cover to it's just bad 80s crap. You know, Harlem Shuffle. Come on, it's bad. I mean, it's just they're trying to be hip. It's like
I liked.
I remember the video.
What was the other song besides Harlem Shuffle?
Straight to the Heart or something like that.
Yeah, two hits to the body or something like that.
Right.
I thought that was a good.
That was all right.
Yeah, I thought that was a good. Like the reason why I would have picked that album if it wasn't for that song. That kind of saved. It kind of saved it for me.
Okay, moving on to the next artist, Van Halen. What you got, Damo?
It was pretty easy to pick this one. It was Van Halen 3 with Gary Cherone, and it's really not a terrible record.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
When we revisit all this stuff back in October when we talked about it, I kind of felt that way. But after listening to it, it was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I thought the best song on there was "Fire in the Hole," but compared to all the other Van Halen records, there's not like a classic song on here. It's just like it doesn't stack up with the rest of their discography. You know, it's just
we talked about this before. It was kind of rushed, and I think from what I read, Cherone was kind of like he wasn't given too much input on it, and giving all this stuff at the last minute type of thing. So I don't know. I'm sure
he probably had to
it,
do whatever he was told, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure. So was that your pick, Mike?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go with the obvious. I'm going to go with Van Halen 3. I thought Sharon did the best that he could do. And, you know, there were
I like
times.
Sharon.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there's
did
times
too.
he sounded like Sammy Hagar at times. Without You, I thought it was a great song. It definitely was a miss for me. Van Halen 3 is my pick. Moving on to the next. Damo, Aerosmith.
I pretty much like everything up to maybe Pump, even the stuff. Eat the Rich, was it the record after that?
Eat the Rich
Was it called Eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just some songs on that. After that, man, it's like they put out a lot of shitty records, and they didn't put out a lot of records, but the ones that they put out sucked, I thought. So the one I'm going with is 9 Lives. I thought that was pretty terrible record. I remember I got it when it came out, and it was just like they just turned into like some like.
Is that the one with Pink?
Yeah, no,
that's the one after that.
yeah,
okay.
It's the one with On Your Knees, falling on your love, hard on your knees.
Yeah. Oh no, Pink is on that. You're right.
Is it Pink's on that one too?
Pink is on that.
Which was weird because his daughter was in the video. But
yeah, well, it was either going to be this one, 9 Lives, or the one after that, Just Push Play. I think they're both terrible equally. So, but I think this was a little bit worse.
Oh, Get a Grip was the album.
Get a Grip. Yeah,
yeah, that was a good record.
Yeah,
I don't think that was that bad.
No, Get a Grip was good.
Listening back to it now, Get a Grip wasn't too bad.
Get a Grip had a lot of hits on it. Dave said that he's going to go with 9 Lives.
Yeah.
Which the coolest thing on 9 Lives was one song had this Indian kind of sounding thing, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, Taste of India, I thought.
That was the only thing I thought that was really cool. Mike D, what you got for Aerosmith?
I'm going to go back to Done with Mirrors.
First one with Joe Perry back.
Yeah.
It just kind of sounded dialed in. It kind of just nothing memorable. Kind of just, all right, skip the track, next, nothing more memorable, skip it, album over.
Yeah. That's a pretty bad record, too.
That's a pretty bad record. For me, with Aerosmith, after Get a Grip, it's just the same old. You know, it's the same old stuff. Aerosmith's hit or miss with me. Even from back in the day, the songs I love, and the rest of it just kind of all sounds the same to me.
Well, they became your mom's favorite band. You know, it's
they are my mother-in-law's favorite band.
I'm not meaning it because it's your mother-in-law. I'm just saying, like, in general, like they became like, you know, like a band your mom's like. You know,
like the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
I don't know if my mother probably doesn't know the Foo Fighters.
For me though, the album I'm going to pick is the last one, Music from Another Dimension. That was the last one, but it could have been any of the last ones. You know, after that, 9 Lives was close. You know, but I went Music from Another Dimension. I listened to it; it's just kind of boring. It's the same old stuff, nothing new. And you know, Aerosmith's one of those bands that, you know, they found the sweet spot in the ballad thing, you know, and they just wrote it as long as they could. And Steven Tyler still sounds great. You know, with that being said, I've seen them probably in concert about 6 times, and they're great in concert. I'd rather hear them in concert than on record, you know. And it's weird. Every time I went to go see Aerosmith wasn't the reason I went. I went for the other band that they were playing with, like Skid Row opened up for them, and I seen them twice there. And they did a show where it was them, Kid Rock, and Run DMC or something like that. I went to that.
Oh, yeah.
I went with my mother-in-law to that. So that was cool. And every time I seen them with Kiss, every time that Aerosmith played, I seen them with Guns N' Roses on Guns N' Roses Appetite Tour. It's like every time I seen Aerosmith, they were great live. I mean, unbelievable. They are a great live band. As far as record goes, it's just, I don't know. It gets lost after Get a Grip for me. And
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, iconic band, you know, but it's just same stuff.
I saw them on that 9 Lives tour. I went with Frankie Meatball and another friend of ours.
Was that the Kiss tour?
No, this was like 9 Lives tour. It was like 97 or something. And we bought tickets off Scalpers. And I will say it is the only concert that I've ever fell asleep at.
Really? Wow.
I fell asleep in my seat while they're on. It was boring. It's the last time I saw them. It was like, and I love Aerosmith, man. I love, like, the 70s, but people shit on the 80s stuff. I like that too.
I like it up to get a grip. Yeah, up to get a grip. Because Pump was a really good record. Permanent
I'll put it
Vacation
this
was a
way.
good record.
Yeah.
I had an Aerosmith back patch.
There you go. You were a pumper.
It was a permanent vacation.
That was a great record. Permanent Vacation was a great record.
It was a great record. But the reason I wanted to get something different, like I wanted to get like an Iron Maiden one, but you couldn't find them. Like they were just hard to find.
Like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, back patches in general at that point were just so hard to find. And it was like Aerosmith, cool. I'm grabbing this one.
Yeah, man. So, so I'm going to go with Music from Another Dimension. That was pretty bad. Okay, moving on to the next artist, Bon Jovi. What you got, Damo?
This is another one that was pretty easy, and it was his latest one, 2020. It came out a few months ago. I like a lot of things Bon Jovi does. He even the stuff like post 80s and 90s. I like the stuff like in the 2000s that he did. There's always a few good songs that are just enough to keep me interested till the next one. But this one that came out a few months ago, or 6 months ago, is just like pretty bad, man. It's like pretty shitty record, and it was supposed to come out like a year ago, and then they delayed it, and he wrote a few more songs. It's like, God damn, man, it was probably even worse the original version. But I try to find something good in everything, and there's only like one song I thought was pretty good. Was Beautiful Drug. Is kind of catchy, but the whole record is like pretty shitty, pretty bad record.
Yep. Mike D, what you going with?
Yeah, I couldn't even do this one because I'm not even a Bon Jovi fan. I mean, I think I like 2 songs of his. I couldn't go through the whole collection to find out which album I don't. So
the whole discography.
He's not into it.
I mean, I respect Bon Jovi. I mean, I think he's a mainstay in the rock industry, and he's earned his kudos for staying around and just that. But he just does nothing for me.
Gotcha.
Nothing. That's it. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say the last record, 2020. It's pretty rough, but I mean, I'm gonna start off by saying I was a huge Bon Jovi fan in the 80s from the beginning, from the very first record. I remember when he came out. I loved everything up to probably Keep the Faith, and then there were some songs I liked to hear in there. There's some really good songs, Every Day. There was some really good songs, off all them, like off of Crush, off of Bounce, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But his songwriting, as expected, it's become more mature, and I understand that he's an older guy now, so it's more adult contemporary, which is fine. But you can't keep writing "You Give Love a Bad Name" at 50 something. It just it don't work. You can't keep doing that, and I don't expect him to, but he's become Springsteen and Mellencamp now to me. That's where he's going. He's a Bruce Springsteen, a John Cougar Mellencamp, and that's fine. That's where his career is at now. And, he still writes good songs, they're just not for me. And the last 2020, I don't know.
It was just, dude, I thought the last record, This House Is Not For Sale, the one that came out a few years ago.
That had some good songs.
I thought that was actually probably the best record he put out in like the past 10 15 years, honestly. But the one, man, that 2020 record is just like pretty fucking boring. Yeah, it's just really bad. And he did lose like a lot of his range. So he's kind of like writing songs that kind of fit his voice, which is a lot of slower adult contemporary kind of sound and almost folky. Country folky, John Cougar Mellencamp. It reminds me of John Cougar Mellencamp, which is not a bad thing. It's just not the Bon Jovi we remember, and it's expected. He's older now. His songwriting changed. You can't, like I said, write "You Give Love a Bad Name" now and be 50 something and come out with it brand new. It just don't work. But the one credit I will give to Bon Jovi is that he reinvented himself at least 3 times. At least 3 times he successfully reinvented himself. So, more power to him on that. But the later Bon Jovi stuff, it just don't work. For me, it's spotty.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Def Leppard, what you got, Damo?
The one I picked was 10X.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah, it's the one that came out before this was kind of like their Euphoria. It was kind of like their comeback, so to speak, like to like their Hysteria sound, but like a modern take. And this one is just like, it's just like all like
ballady,
like
hip hop beats,
pop. Yeah, it's just like weird, you know. It's no bueno.
Mike D, what you got?
I lost touch with Def Leppard after Hysteria, and for me, it was I could have went with something later on, but I backtrack, and I can't get past Adrenalize.
Yeah. I almost went with that one too.
That was like right. What was that? That was right after Hysteria.
92.
That was right after Hysteria.
And it just sounded like a bunch of like B-sides to Hysteria.
Yeah.
Hysteria, the whole album from beginning to end was just awesome.
Oh yeah.
And that was a big part of my childhood. Those few years, man, Hysteria. I had that on my tape player. So
yeah.
But Adrenalize, it wasn't like I hated it. I think I either threw it away or gave it to somebody. I don't even remember.
I think they really tried to capitalize on trying to write another Pour Some Sugar on Me when they wrote Let's Get Rocked.
Ugh.
And it wasn't a good, it was a bad Pour Some Sugar on Me. You know?
Yeah.
It was it was bad.
I almost picked that.
It's up there. It's close.
Because I remember getting when I was a teenager and I was like, God, man, I'm so disappointed. I spent all this money for this. It was just like total.
Right. When you bought a bad album, though, years ago, man, it was like you made like, I don't know, I was probably making like $60 a week and you're spending $15 on an album.
Yeah.
That's like a good bit to lose a week on something that fucking sucks.
I know.
And,
right?
we all were probably in that boat of we all bought at least one record a week at that time.
I would buy probably 2 to 3. I'd spend most of my money on records.
I mean, I think the worst song that they ever wrote is on that record. Make Love Like a Man has got to be the worst fucking song.
Like a man.
God damn.
I'm a man.
Like I'll listen to Hair Nation on Sirius, and that song will pop up once in a while. I was like, oh my God, this song is fucking garbage. It's so bad.
Yeah, it is.
It's bad.
Even Let's Get Rocked. I could find a couple good things about that one, but that's like pretty awful too.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad record. So Mike D, you're going with Adrenalize.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is one that all three of us had different picks, even though they could have been any one of these. I'm going to go with Euphoria. Yeah, I'm going to go with Euphoria. I think the song Promises might have been on that. That was actually a pretty good song.
That's a good song. Yeah.
That was a good song, but it's just a boring record. This band used to be one of my favorites. I would say from High and Dry to Hysteria, man, unbelievable. Them 3 records, I love all 3 of those records. On Through the Night, I didn't think it was that good, but High and Dry. I love that one. You like On Through the Night? I wasn't big on Through the Night.
It's my favorite record.
I like High and Dry a lot. I like Pyromania a lot. I like Hysteria a lot. And
I meant High and Dry is my favorite. Yeah.
On Through the Night was okay. High and Dry is a great record. Like I said, in Pyromania, Hysteria, and after that, man, what the fuck happened? I don't know what happened. It's not. I mean, great musicians. Joe Elliott's got a unique voice and probably one of the best backing vocals besides maybe Tesla and Dokken in the business as far as rock bands go.
Yeah, they can sing, those guys. Yeah,
I mean, the guys in Def Leppard could sing their ass off. And they tried to pull off the Mutt-Lag sounding stuff. They got their sound, but after that, man, it's just slang. Same thing with Bon Jovi. They kind of became a little adult contemporary, kind of very ballady. Now they got hip hop beats, kind of with the ballads, and it's not a bad thing, but same thing. It's just not.
Like some of those songs, kind of like, especially on that song, like they kind of like Bieberish,
Yeah, it's
like
it's bad. It's like it's for a bunch of people who don't really know the band that are in an arena going, Yeah, I'm all right with anthems, but no, it just didn't work. But them 3 records, man, I was huge. And I would still go see them live. I still like them, but then 3 records were like timeless, you know? And, and after that, it's just like, you know, I'm sure we'll do an episode. Yeah, we'll do an episode on something like bands that hit their peak. You know, like, you know, I said before, Queensryche. You know, you had Rage for Order, you had Operation Mindcrime, you had Empire. They were the 3. And then after that, hit or miss.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, I'm going with Euphoria for Def Leppard. Okay, so moving on to the next big band, Guns N' Roses. What do you got, Damo?
This is easy. Chinese Democracy. I got. There's a couple songs on there I like. I think Better is a great song, especially you know, seeing them live with Slash and Duff. They kind of make it sound more like, you know, like something that they would do. But it's that's a pretty it's a bloated record. You know, it's just like a bunch of nonsense on there. I think, you know.
Yep. What do you got, Mike D?
So what was it? 15 years it took for them to put that out between releases. And you know, by the time it came out, I was at the point where I was just sick of fucking hearing about the Chinese Democracy. 15 years in the making. Would it cost $14 million to make this piece of garbage? and I didn't listen to this album until maybe last year. Bert made me listen to it. Oh, you're really going to like this album. Listen, give it a chance.
Right.
Give us a chance. I'm like, all right. And I think he put it on. He went upstairs to go take a shit for a half hour. And I'm like, I'm going to say it again. I was fucking capping on this one. This was garbage. This was like Axl Rose trying to be big. You know, you lost all your rock and roll. You want to put out songs. You think you're Mariah Carey screaming over there.
Yeah.
You know, this is not what we wanted from Guns N' Roses after 15 fucking years. We wanted a kick-ass rock and roll album, and you gave us this fucking garbage. You know what? This album should have held them back from even being in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Fuck you, Guns N' Roses. You fucking suck.
Wow. Angry Mike D finally coming out.
He's back.
He's back. That's it. He's in a bad mood.
Albert, what's your pick?
Listen, before I go into my pick, I actually like Chinese Democracy. I like it. It's got a lot of cool things in it. I like it. I like Better. I like I don't know. I like a lot of the stuff on there. I really do.
That album made me fucking pissed off, and it gave me a fucking headache for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. It's a good record. All right, so I mean, you guys might disagree because it's not really an original record, but I'm gonna go with the Spaghetti Incident. I'm gonna go with the cover record. I just think it's bad.
It's not really an album. It's a cover.
Yeah.
Nah.
So wait, you're ruling me out on that then? Oh,
Hey,
yes.
it's your pick, but I would have put that on there maybe, but it's like it's
okay.
It's too,
so that's fair. That's fair. I got ruled out on that. So,
but hey, you don't have many choices with them. You only
right. This is true.
You know,
this is true.
I mean, Appetite's great. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 are pretty.
You got
damn
4
good.
albums.
You got Lies, which I like, and Chinese Democracy. I guess that's the weakest one. Then.
Lies was an EP.
Okay, so that don't even count. So there's really no choices. I mean, the only choice is Chinese Democracy better than the other 3? No. So I guess I would have to go with Chinese Democracy. That's it. That's the way it falls, you know?
Unanimous.
Yep. I guess, yeah.
Good job, Damien. Good job.
I guess if I had to pick one, that's where it would go. But only because it don't sound like Guns N' Roses, it sounds like Axl Rose. So that's what I'll go with. That'll be the reasoning.
Yeah, it's definitely Mariah Carey-ish at times.
Oh yeah, Mike loves it. It's like his voice is too high.
Yeah, I mean, there is like the song "Chinese Democracy." I like Better. There might be like one other one, but
For the World, or I think that's
this album
like that
was
one.
like I don't know, 2 hours long or something like that. It was ridiculous.
It was long. Yeah.
At least it felt that long.
Hey, I remember getting the vinyl record before vinyl got big again. Best Buy had them for like $1. And I
right.
Yeah. $1.
They were selling it for $1.
$1.
You paid a fucking $1 for that garbage?
I think it might have been $1. Yeah.
I would have paid
like
$1 for it using a game of Ultimate Frisbee.
Shit, I want to play it before I go to bed. Then I'm gonna put it on. Moving on to the next band, Damo, Motley Crue.
I got to go with New Tattoo. I was very disappointed when it came out. I still don't like it. I don't like the sound of it. It doesn't sound like Motley Crue. A lot of the songs are just kind of bad. Yeah, it's the one song I like is Porno Star. Hell on High Heels is okay. You know, it was sort of like a return to their classic sound, but it was kind of like missed the boat a bit for me.
It was pretty lame.
Yeah, it is.
There was no girls on it. There was no. So they try and sell it like it was back to their sound, but I think it was a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Just not a good record.
No. What do you got, Mike D?
I mean, over the past few years, I think I've realized I like Motley Crue a lot less than I originally thought I did.
For me, New Tattoo, awful. First record without Tommy Lee, awful. Just a bad record, bad songs. Didn't sound like Motley Crue at all to me.
Yeah.
The only song I thought was good was the New Tattoo song. I didn't like any of it. I mean, I was like, wow, this is definitely. Hey, I mean, a lot of people don't like Generation Swine. I like Generation Swine.
I like Generation Swine a lot more than I like this record.
Me too. And I think, when we did the Motley Crue thing, I think we did all pick New Tattoo as the worst record.
Yeah, do we?
I'm almost positive we did. It stinks. It just stinks. It's bad.
I remember going to Tower Records again, like when this came out, and it wasn't on sale. I paid like $19 for it.
Oh, you got
for a CD, big time, man. When I got home, listened to it, I was like, this is garbage, man. This is such a terrible record.
Yep.
Motley Crue, I will say, Motley Crue, most of the records are, other than the singles, whoever picks the singles did an excellent job.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the songs
aren't as good.
Aren't really that good.
Yeah.
Man, that band really got lucky.
Yeah.
I like Motley Crue a lot, but I mean, look at Theater of Pain. I mean, if it wasn't for Home Sweet Home, that's a fucking pretty garbage record.
Yeah, you got your cover song that was big because it was a cover song and the video, and it was all about the show with the video and all that stuff. Home Sweet Home was a huge song. The rest of the record is, I don't think it's that good. Keep Your Eye on the Money's not a good song. Raise Your Hands to Rock is okay. I like Save Our Souls. I like that.
They mentioned rock, and it's, come on, man. When you have to raise your hand and rock in the
it's like Twisted Sister, and I like Twisted Sister, but some of that stuff's hard to listen to now. I want to rock. I mean, back then I fucking loved it. Now it's like, we're not gonna. It's as you get older, it's a little. It's got its place, from when you're younger. As you get older, it's a little. I'd rather hear them do Destroyer or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like
some of that stuff doesn't age well.
No, it just doesn't age well. But at the time, it was great. Okay, moving on to the last one. Red Hot Chili Peppers. What you got, Damo?
Man, they're without even getting into the research and everything. Like the first one that came to my mind was the One Hot Minute, I think. With, but I said, wait, let me really listen to the first couple records, and I was like, whoa, it is. The first record had me. I was like, okay, this is fucking terrible. Then I listened to the one after that, Freaky Style. I was like, that was bad too, but not as bad as the first one. So, dude, it's like Anthony Kiedis was like
bad.
Those early records was like him rapping. It was almost like, my name is Damien and I'm here to stay. Red Hot Chili Peppers is from LA. Every song was sort of like, it was sort of like that. It's like, it was kind of like funk rock, kind of like what they kind of turned into, but there was no melody at all. The choruses were it wasn't no chorus, really.
It was all about the music. If it wasn't for the music, it would be the worst thing ever. But the music was pretty kick-ass. But everything else was bad.
His white boy rap, it was like, remember like back in the 80s, like when rap really started getting big, you would see like these commercials of like these corny, like old white people rapping. That's like kind of like how he sounded like in this shit. It's like, my name is Anthony and I'm here to say I play in the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, it was just kind of like every
I love it,
kind of
Damo.
sounded like that. It's like, thank God they kind of like found their way, you know? I mean, because like a couple albums of this getting this shit out of their system, they finally like turned into something. You know, when they put out new records, man, it still gets played on the record, still gets played on the radio a lot. Like,
because
a
they
lot of
play the
bands
same formula because they're the same.
They definitely found their formula
and over again.
They found their formula
after California, over and over and over again. Everything's the same.
I'd rather hear that than this.
But it's like an hour and a half. They'll put out a hit song and it's like 6-7 minutes long, and it's the same song the entire way through. They're fucking pretentious and fucking bloated.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little bummed out that this is our last one because I'm actually having fun with this tonight. I wish we had more. This is great. Okay, you're gonna go with the first Chili Peppers record. Mike D, what you go with?
You know, I could have went with some of the early stuff, and the reason I didn't, I mean, they were a huge force in the music, like in the underground music industry and stuff like that back then. They had a huge following. I know it's not to my taste. It's not to Damien's taste. They were like just dynamic, like fucking party band and shit, like on stage and like a hype band and stuff like that. Yeah. So by the time like Mother's Milk came out, I think they kind of found themselves a little bit and they got into better songwriting and stuff like that. And then boom, you got Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That album,
unbelievable record,
fucking unbelievable. I could still listen to that album.
It's a great record.
Straight. But then you get One Hot Minute, and it's hard to fucking. This is just garbage. How do you follow up Blood Sugar Sex Magic with One Hot Minute? And you got Dave Navarro on guitar, who should have worked with the band. Yeah. And nothing against him, because I love James Addiction. But, man, this was just garbage, this album. It was 1 hot minute of garbage. It was actually probably 1 hot hour of garbage.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, and I could have went with the earlier stuff, and I almost went with the first record. But if it wasn't for the music being so crazy and different, but I went with 1 hot minute.
Let me tell you something though. On the 1 hot minute, man, fucking Flea played his fucking ass off on that album.
He did. I was going to get to that.
I mean, he fucking kicked ass on that album.
He did. But as good as Flea was on the record playing, I checked out after that P song. I'm a little P. What the fuck was he talking about? Why? Did that really need to be on the record?
None of that really needed to be.
You're a big tough guy. You can kick my ass. You know what the fuck? Did you hear that song, Dane?
Check it out, this and that.
Here.
Yeah, you just got to watch because it's bleeding through.
That's good.
Is this Flea singing?
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
Oh, it gets better.
Okay.
It gets worse.
Fuck you, asshole. You're homophobic, redneck. Big and tough and macho, you can kick my ass.
Really?
So fucking what?
I mean, that's the gist of it, but it's bad. If you're a producer, how does this make the record? Right.
Wow. Okay.
So that was my point of tapping. Was there. I was like, why? Why? What was the point?
Man, it's weird.
Well, while we're on the subject of the Chili Peppers, let me ask you guys something now. What do you think about them just selling their catalog recently, like within the past week?
A lot of bands are doing that, but it's kind of funny because they're not that old when they did it. Usually,
Right.
Yeah, a lot of these bands are doing it like when they're like 70. I'm seeing it now. Every week I hear somebody different. Oh, so and so, so and so just sold his catalog. Roger Waters or whoever. I get it. They're fucking 70. They want to enjoy the money while they have it, but they're still kind of they're still like relevant.
Now, when they
why
sell
are
their
doing it?
catalog, are they? Is there like some agreement where they get some kind of royalty still, or they're done? That's it.
I
think they're done.
I think they would get like performance royalties because they played on it, but they don't get.
Okay.
They might have to pay to play it.
No, that might be an agreement. I don't know.
It might be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
that would have to be probably an agreement where it's probably like, listen, you got this, and you could still play it, and we'll give you performance royalties. So they're still getting some kind of royalty, even though if it's in a commercial, they're not getting.
They're not getting that
bulk.
They're not.
But
getting
think about the money
Yeah.
after taxes. They sold it for $140 million.
But here's the thing with, I think, what we fail to really realize. Anybody that sells their catalog, because now it's kind of like what the Doors did with Jim Morrison with the commercial thing. Now, if a song's in a commercial, and it might generate some money for the company that owns the catalog, now that'll boost up them for their live performances. You know how it is.
Yeah,
so
it's true. Yeah,
that might boost up their live stuff now. So
yeah,
there's a reasoning being that, listen, I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to put it on this commercial, but we're not going to take it was used for whatever. And it's just like, Rat. I'm sure Rat still owns their stuff, but like, before the COVID thing really broke out, Rat had that commercial where they were on
round and round. Yeah, it became like a big hit for them again.
Yeah. So, and that happens a lot. So,
well, Dee Snutter, he sold his catalog, which is, you still hear We're Not Going to Take It and I Just Want to Rock on commercials and shit. So he doesn't get paid for that stuff because he took out like a lump sum.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. Like you're selling stuff like you created, and you can't use it in the way like you want to use it from that point on.
Yeah,
like,
it sounds crazy.
And here you got some schmuck with money in their pockets. It's like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I want this.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You're making these
people
but have too much in a certain sense.
It's like having a partner. It's like, but you're making the bulk of the money, but it might generate more money and interest in me elsewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, and I don't at the same time. It's like,
I mean, if I was Metallica, would I do it? No way. They don't need to.
They were saying like the Chili Peppers generates like $5 and $6 million with their catalog a year.
So they got a good deal then, right? If you think
they got $140 million, you got to split it 4 to 5 ways, I guess. There's a few different members in the band, I'm sure too.
Well, the publishing it has nothing to do with the guys that are in the band.
Well, probably not.
Publishing's
it's all the writers.
Publishing's
the writers
deals. It's the writers.
Yeah. But like, if some of these guys they feel strongly about certain companies or certain views, say they're they're vegetarians, right? And one of their songs is used in some friggin' meat commercial, some like Purdue Chicken or something. And they wouldn't normally say yes to that. Hey, tough shit. They can't do anything about it.
You signed it away. Yeah, exactly.
So,
you
just like George Lucas crying about the Star Wars shit. But he's
too bad.
What, $5 billion for it? Stop
Sorry.
crying.
Sorry. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you
made your deal
shot.
with the devil.
Yeah.
You take that shot. Let's say a band like what was like a one-hit wonder band or something like that. All right, let's say Men Without Hats, the Safety Dance. Let's go with something like that. Okay, they bought the rights to the Safety Dance. These people can do anything they want for the Safety Dance. If that song gets played constantly and it's a huge hit again, now there's interest in these Men Without Hats. Now they're on.
They can go out and tour.
They can go tour. They can generate money. So I think now a big band like that, like the Chili Peppers, might be a little bit different. But a band that was once maybe hot and then kind of fell by the wayside, it gives them a second life in their career and more shelf life, and that's what it's all about. It's all about shelf life. That being said, Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, episode 32, right, Dan?
32.
Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, episode 32.
Yeah, Damo, I love it. I don't even want to hang up now. I love it, Dame. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah.